Sussex Bodyguard threw an elderly neighbour out of the gate after Meghan refused to help Montecito mudslide victims. Even though Meghan and Harry may no longer live in Montecito, their former neighbours still have many stories about the couple that they want to expose. Sources reported that Frank McGinity, an accountant and author, recently told how he'd called the Sussexes home on the Riven Rock Estate to share some films that he'd made on the history of the area, but the 88-year-old, whose local knowledge was snubbed by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. One of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's neighbours wanted to welcome the couple to the neighbourhood by lending them some movies that he created about the history of the exclusive Californian enclave that the couple have called home for 2 years now. Navy veteran McGinity called on the Harkles at their 15-bedroom Tuscan-style villa in Montecito to offer his expertise only to be turned down at the gate. He recounted the brusque encounter with the couple's security team in a new chapter of his memoir, Get Off Your Street, in which he detailed the residents' experience with the mudslides that devastated the area only a few years before the Sussexes moved in. Sussex's bodyguard kicked him out of the Sussexes' gates when Meghan refused to help distressed locals in the neighbourhood, while Frank wants to give the book away to help the Harkles get survival skills where nature doesn't endorse. He also asked Meghan to join a campaign in the neighbourhood to support the victims. He said, "Our Riven Rock community pulled together and invested to return the neighbourhood to what it was before the flood. But when the cameras aren't rolling, Meghan and Harry don't care. Meghan and Harry are only interested in people who can help them climb the Hollywood social ladder. We can see they have no care for anyone non-famous. It's not like they work for more than an hour a week. Also, too bad that Harry overlooked a veteran. Can't be a good look for him being all about the army. They have no interest in anyone whose name isn't instantly recognisable. By doing this, they'll be missing information and networking from a surprisingly large number of people who live their lives away from the radar of publicity." This man is obviously wealthy and clearly highly literate, also a published author, albeit of non-fiction. Imagine how he and his contacts would have helped them write an interesting book that would have stayed in the bestseller lists for much longer than a few days. The old neighbour was a gift the Sussexes couldn't see. A vet for Harry, a chance for Meghan to clap on the rumours she's an elderly bullying. Anyone would have had the common decency to take the man in and offer him some refreshments, but not these grifters. They're extremely short-sighted. In his book, McGinity recounted the impact of the mudslides on the small enclave that sits halfway between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. Undeterred by the Sussexes' lack of interest, he's now incorporated the information into a new edition of his personal travelogue and memoir, Get Off Your Street. He told the Montecito Journal, "I've added one last chapter treading through a sea of mud, describing the devastating mudslides in Montecito in January of 2018. The natural disaster claimed 23 lives across Southern California, and Mr. McGinity said my neighbour Roy Rota, who lived across the Hot Springs Creek from our home, was killed. If we'd been home and opened our front door, we'd both be dead as well. Harry and Meghan's current home was left looking like a sea of mud or a moonscape. It's surprising that Meghan and Harry came here. People are typically older. It's where the elephants come to die."